Hi guys, back with Bassington. I hope you're all keeping well. I've been asked over the years by various people what process they should go through when purchasing their first luxury watch. So I thought I'd record a vlog on this. What I will say is, above anything else, please take your time. This is an expensive item, and probably after a house, a car, an item of jewelry, say a wedding ring, an engagement ring, it is probably going to be the next most expensive item that you will purchase. So please take your time. These are just my points of the purchasing process and what I think you should do. The first point is this: do not think you can make money on your luxury watch. I guarantee that in most instances, you will lose money on your luxury watch. And I know I keep banging on about this, but I will say it again. Watches are not an investment. By all means, treat them as a capital asset, but they're not an investment. If you were to go to an authorized dealer and buy a luxury watch today, in most instances, as soon as you walk out that showroom, you will lose the VAT, which is 20% of the value of the watch, and then you will lose 20% depreciation. And that's what you've got to take into account. This is an expensive item that you will lose money on. It is not something you will make money on. And I want you all to understand that. That leads me on to point 2, which is to identify what you want your watch for. So, is it a special occasion watch? Well, in that case, I'd recommend you to buy a dress watch. Are you a person that spends most of the time outdoors? Well, in that case, I would buy a sports watch. Or is it something that is going to be worn every single day? Well, in that case, I would buy a daily driver. Identify what sort of watch you want. And then from that leads me on to point 3, which is look at various brands. Don't get focused on to one or two particular brands. There are literally numerous luxury watchmakers out there who produce phenomenal watches. Go and do your research. Start online. Look at social media and in YouTube in particular, and look at the reviews of the watches. And, that will sort of shortlist it more. You'll probably then identify, well, I don't like that brand, but I like that brand. You probably narrow it down to, say, half a dozen brands and maybe 12 watches across, a couple of watches from each brand, or, one from one brand, 3 from the other. And once you've done that, that leads me on to my next point, which is this. And that is, go and try your watches on. Don't just look at something online and think, I like that watch, and then order it. No, you must go and try the watch on that you think you're going to purchase. It may be you get there when you've shortlisted these watches and think, well, that's no good for me. It may be that you find something else that is better for you, a brand that you hadn't identified with, and a watch that, has taken you by surprise. Very, very important to do that. That leads me on, to my next point, which is buy what you want. Don't listen to influencers. Don't listen to people saying, oh, you lose money on that. Oh, well, the problem is that, yeah, but dealers don't want them when you come to resell. If you have a watch identified that you really like, that you think you're going to get a lot of usage out of, that you think, is good for you, buy it. Don't listen to other people telling you not to buy that watch. However, that leads me on to my next point. And my next point is this: be savvy. There are certain brands that lose a lot of money, a tremendous amount of money, when you buy new. So my advice would be to go to an independent dealer and buy secondhand. Equally, if you've decided to buy new, go and negotiate a good price. And it's very easy to do this. Just phone up various dealers and see what the best price is. If the watch is in stock, you're going to get a better deal. If the watch has to be ordered in, you're going to get a slightly worse deal. But if the watch is already in stock and you're not trading in, negotiate a strong price. My last point is this: Go and buy the watch in person. Don't get the watch sent to you. I've heard so many stories of watches arriving that they're damaged or they're missing links or the cards aren't with them. The list is endless. Go and buy that watch in person. It's very important to do that. Whether you're buying from an authorized dealer, an independent dealer, or even a private buyer. But more importantly, if you're dealing with an independent dealer, an authorized dealer, it's going to develop a relationship with them. They've identified, you've identified with them, you're happy with the watch they've supplied at the price point. You may say to them, hey, listen, a couple of years' time, I'm going to be after a new watch. Give me a call. You will develop that relationship with them, and you probably won't move away from that dealer. So those are, my points to what I would say you would do. People will probably add more points. People will probably disagree with me. But the overriding thing, which I said at the start, is please, please, please take your time when purchasing your first luxury watches. Well, so your first luxury watch, I should say. I've heard absolute horror stories where people have impulse bought, where they've had arguments with their loved ones, they've gone out and they've bought a watch, and they don't want it. Airport departure lounges, classic case. I said, well, why did you buy this watch? Well, I was flying back from so-and-so and I had a 16-hour delay and I was bored, so I ended up buying it. I don't like it. I don't wear it. And also I can't sell it. That's not necessarily a good thing to do, is it? So when you're purchasing your first luxury watch, please take your time. In the meantime, stay tuned.